98, the professional wrestling world is as hot as it's ever been. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, the NWO, all that. But it's a good thing none of those guys had to wrestle our guest here today. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Rick McCarthy, 152-pound state champ for wrestling from Fern Creek.
Fern Creek High School, the Tigers. So, Rick, man, kind of walk us through your wrestling journey. I would have to imagine that, I mean, of course, you can tell the story, but was wrestling prominent there in the Fern Creek area, or like feeder programs where you were in school?
Wrestling was prominent in the area to an extent. I mean, you had guys, when I came in, Don Blevins, who was the two-time state champ before me at 152 pounds, he was pretty much carried as an urban legend over there. But how I got into the sport myself, I ended up a total fluke. The wrestling coach, Daryl Farmer, he's a social studies teacher at the time, ended up covering for my freshman English teacher. And he's always constantly recruiting. And during my time at Fern Creek, we had a real problem trying to get guys to fill a full roster, because we'd go into dual meets and I can't count how many dual meets we just gave up 30 points immediately. I mean, we'd have 5, 6 roster spots not be filled, but he was constantly recruiting. He came across me, this gangly little 140-pound kid who was trying to play on the football team, and that wasn't really panning out in my freshman year. And so he asked me to come on out, and I told him, yeah, I'd talk to mom and dad and see what they thought. And my dad, being the man that he is, he's like, you're gonna try it. You're gonna finish the year with it. And if you like it, hey, you can stick with it. So that's kind of how it started for me. Just Coach Daryl Farmer, he came in, recruited me, and it just took off from there. I wrestled first day and then just came back every other day after that.
So you started as a freshman in high school?
Yeah, as a freshman, and the season was already, I think we were already a month into the season when I started, because I think inside the first week we had one of our early tournaments. So yeah, it was it was tough. They brought me out to Caldwell County, and
yeah, that's
a tough tournament.
Yeah, Caldwell's got a great tradition. Lot of good wrestling out of Caldwell County. So what would that have been? 98, 97, 96, 95, I guess?
Yes, 95.
Okay. And the reason I bring that up, Fern Creek has a good tradition, 3 team state championships, the latest being 2015, 1984, and I believe 1975 is the other one, if memory serves me correctly. And it's some of the names, like you guys have seen Mark Hitchings, 1981. You saw Lawrence Woodford's 2 heavyweight back-to-back in 87 and 88. There's a lot of other Fern Creek guys that we want to get with. It's just now that we're doing Zoom, we can open up that channel a little bit more. So you come in as a freshman, and I believe the first record that I could find of you making it to the state tournament was 97. Is that right?
90. No, I made the tournament 95, 96, but they had me down as Keith McCarthy.
Okay, that may be what the problem was.
And that probably was it. I don't know why they put Keith McCarthy down. I go by Rick. So
okay.
I've been dealing with that all my life. So.
No, I get it. I understand. That's why maybe I just overlooked it. But 1998 is your year. And you start off the tournament with a 15-0 tech fall over Matt Bell from Paducah Tillman.
Yep.
Pretty good start. Then you get to the quarters. You're wrestling Josh Stepp from Sheldon Clark. You win that by a 7-5 decision. Josh goes on, 1999, wins 152 pounds, and is voted the most outstanding wrestler. So you beat a pretty good wrestler there in Josh. Had you wrestled Josh before that?
Never wrestled him. Actually, that match, I had a plan going into it. The other half of the bracket, there was an upset, and it led me to believe that it was going to be 1 or 2 guys coming out of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was either going to be McComas from Scott or Gentry from Woodford County coming out of into the finals. So, and the thing was, I didn't know anything about Gentry. Knew a lot about McComas. I've done wrestled him twice already. But Gentry, I knew next to nothing about. The only thing I knew was he beat Step going into or after the regionals. He beat him in the regional final. So I get the bright idea, and this only goes to show that an 18-year-old kid thought this was a good idea. Get a lead on the guy, let him come back and win by a small margin of victory. We'll try that.
Yeah.
It was a stupid idea. I mean, granted, I think if I remember right, I was up 5-1 going into the third period and starting to let him come back on me. And yeah, it almost blew up in my face, but it ended up working out in the end.
Yeah, Josh is a great wrestler. Like I said, 1999, 152-pound state champion, most outstanding. So, and going from a 15-0 tech fall to a 7-5 decision, that's a pretty good increase in talent, if you will. You
True.
get to the semis. You're wrestling Ren Cox of St. Xavier, another Louisville area school. For those not familiar with the Louisville area, you win that by a 4-1 decision, and I believe Ren goes on to get third that year.
Yeah, that match, that was the fourth time I wrestled him that year. Had to wrestle him at we had the Kentucky Indiana Super Duels, and then we had the Jefferson County Tournament Champions Finals, and then the state duels. I wrestled him there. He in every match just got the margin of victory just got smaller and smaller over the 4 times I wrestled him. Luckily, that wasn't a 5th time I had to wrestle him.
Yeah.
Who knows how that would have ended. But yeah,
before the state redistrict and rezone or reconfigured all the regions, was St. Xavier in your all's district or your region there?
No.
Okay.
It was. Let me go through the list of the teams that were in it. They added the Oldham County schools into our district in '97 for South Oldham and Oldham County. They added those 2 in. Yeah, they did that in '97, and then there was Wagner Central, J-Town. Oh gosh, so long ago.
Yeah, it's all right if you can't remember. It's no big deal. Well,
trying to remember those teams.
I'm asking is I think now there's 2 because we have regions now, but I think there's 2 regions in the Jefferson County, Oldham, between like Jefferson, Bullitt, and Oldham. I think there's 2 regions right there. I just didn't know the way that, because they, you know how it is. They've been rezoned or redistrict, re-region so many times that that's just the way it goes. But you get to the finals, you're wrestling John Gentry from Woodford County, and if you're watching this, chances are you know Woodford County back in the 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s even. I mean, they were the show. Woodford County had some of the great names, your Chris Dunns, your Ian Horns, your Joes, JoJo Cars, Josh Whitakers, even John goes on in 2000, wins the state championship. So Woodford County, man, heck of a program. Had you wrestled John before?
Never wrestled John before, and back when I was a freshman, we knew Woodford County was a big thing back my freshman year. So I literally spent the next 3 summers at their camp that they had there. So I tried to pick up as much as I could from Joe Carr Sr. and their coaching staff out there and the other wrestlers there. Yeah, so
that's a good place to learn. We've been to their wrestling room on the backside of that gym, I think twice, if I'm not mistaken. We've done videos there twice and had some other guys from Woodford County lined up. But now that the channel's growing, getting more people out there, people want to be involved. Has it been a while since you've seen your state finals match?
It's been a minute.
It's been
some
cool.
time. So yeah, I'd have to find a VHS tape somewhere and see if there's a VCR in his house. But
yeah, well, lucky for you, we have the video of it, and we're at the Dungeon in Frankfort on a cold February evening. Of course, your first time in the finals. When you win that semifinals match, man, does the nerves kick in? What's your thought process, if you will, knowing you're going to be in the state finals?
After the semifinals match, I was more so pumped that me and Charles Smith ended up making the finals.
Mhm.
And the one thing our assistant coach, Jeff Hall, he ended up telling both of us, he said, stop what you're doing, go to the rooms, get rested, be ready to go. Comes, well, I think like 5, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever the finals was. Just, I don't want you all getting hurt in any way, shape, or form. Just get rested. But meanwhile, me and Charles go back to the room. We're just sitting there, just trying to realize, man, when was the last time Fern Creek had 2 guys in the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then leading up to this and the face-offs, for me, um, I was more so concerned not to trip over the mat or
Yeah.
trying not to make a fool of myself running out there. Uh, and then it was also a little intimidating as I ran out there. The entire Woodford County cheering section is on my left side. So
Yep.
all I hear is just boos, boos. And, it's a little intimidating, but, get out there, shake his hand, and head on somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I get it. And it's, of course, we're under the lights here at the dungeon. Great atmosphere. I've said in every video at the dungeon, this was the best atmosphere the KHSAA ever produced in any sport at any level.
Absolutely.
Love to see us go back to the spotlight on the mat, the beach balls, all that, the glow sticks everybody had for their team colors. It's just you had to be there, right, Rick? You had this one
absolutely.
experience. You
definitely had to be there to enjoy it.
All right. Well, we've talked enough. Here we go. Here John comes trotting out. Of course, Woodford had those big karate gi. There you come.
I go.
And you're in the all black singlet, wearing the red ankle band. So from the neutral position, were we a high crotch, double leg? What are we looking to do here?
I was a duck under ankle pick guy. Or I'd wait for this.
Right. And I was going to ask you, the reason I brought that up, because you hit that perfectly. That little whip.
And then this tight waist chicken wing. I remember that vividly. And the quickest I thought I could get it.
Yep. No, I mean, and right there you're running tilt, getting some near fall.
He's stuck right there too.
Was he?
Oh, I was looking right at it. I'm like, he's stuck. Oh my goodness. And after this, he got a hold of my leg, and I just realized I'm thinking right there. I'm thinking the match.
That tight waist wing that you had, that tight waist wing. When I was cutting this down, I was like, man, that must be his just bread and butter go-to turn, because you hit that right out of the gate.
Then I let his arm go when he had it behind his back. I was kicking myself for a while after that. And then right here, I'm thinking I'm 5 points up and try to pick him up. I remember right.
The bracket has your record coming into this match undefeated, 49-0. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's good, man. That's a heck of a record.
When I tried to pick him up, he wrapped my leg, and it changed my whole game plan. Because the moment I picked him up and he wrapped my leg and I tried it again, I realized I wasn't going to take him down like I normally would. Because normally I would wrap around the back or lock my hands, pick them up, and then grab for the shoulders and shuck them down to their back.
Right.
And then I just thought, all right, play it safe, because he's going to try something silly.
And he done a very smart move right there. You had your hands locked against him. And
he did the right thing there.
So he gets one. We're neutral. End of the period.
I'm looking back at Coach going, he's saying, keep him off your leg, push him back.
You defer. He takes down. Did you already kind of have the mental programming, if you will, to defer right there?
Oh, that was automatic. No matter where
Okay.
I'm in the match, I'll defer it in the first if I get choice.
And I've had, whenever I was cutting this down, I had to lower the volume on the master copy that I got. And I've got the volume on this so low we can just barely hear it. Do you remember the crowd being this loud?
The thing I remember about the crowd would be after I think he gets the next takedown. And then I hear "Let's go, John."
Okay.
And that's I try a hip and then I bail out of it.
So
And I'm hearing
he
"Let's go,
takes you
John."
down and then cut you. I was kind of surprised he cut you right there.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. But then I'm hearing "Let's go, John," and I'm feeling the momentum shift on me. And
yeah, because
I just feel like I'm in a bad position here. I go for a stalemate, I think.
the
Both his arms.
a lot of crazy things happened in that arena or that civic center when momentum got behind somebody.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy things. Takedowns that people should have never got, pins that should have never happened, normally, but you get that crowd, that adrenaline pumping, if you will, crazy things can happen.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Yeah.
Ankle pick to a 2. That was a really good.
Probably one of my better ones.
That was good.
Yeah, because in that moment, he crossed his legs, and the first thing he taught me in wrestling, you cross your legs when you're standing up, you're already taken down.
Yep.
Yeah, and he
That's true.
crossed
That's
them.
a fact.
I'm sorry.
I said that's a fact. When you cross your feet, I mean, against even a decent wrestler, you're going to your butt at least.
Yeah, I saw once he crossed his feet, and I saw his weight on the one leg. I went for it.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have a lot of family, a lot of friends, classmates in the audience here?
Oh yeah, the team, and I had the first day we had a busload of students from Fern Creek come in, but obviously when it hit the weekend, they're all scattered to the wind. nobody want to stick around until Saturday.
Yeah,
which I understood.
I'd love to see more schools take like fan buses they do for like the boys and girls state tournament basketball, football, or even regional tournaments for basketball, whatever, to take a bus load one time to the state tournament wrestling on that Saturday. They got a bunch of kids, a bunch of their classmates in the finals.
Oh, here I knew I was in trouble.
Yep.
Woodford County practices this constantly. He'll sweep around and get for that leg. I knew the moment I had over-unders, I knew I was in trouble.
Yep.
But I couldn't remember which leg he was going to sweep to, and I just shoved forward and tried to get him out of bounds.
It's smart. Holding on to that head, got head and arm there.
Yeah, he tried
There
a barrel roll, and I just caught his head, and I couldn't believe I got the near fall on that.
Yeah.
And I was holding this thing where I think it hit their stalling here. I couldn't believe I had the back points on that, so I couldn't decide on what to do with the front headlock, even though I've scored, what, 8 or 9 points now from that from the front headlock position.
5,
and then another 4 right there.
So
yeah,
you got what?
9 points from front headlock. And now all I'm thinking is playing it safe.
Yep.
At that point, it's like, don't do anything stupid. Don't get caught in a headlock. Don't get caught in anything silly.
There you go. You cut him. Cut him loose.
Go for a leg. I'll just let him go and
Yep.
have that takedown.
He cuts you again. Of course, he knows he needs points here.
Yeah, and I'm
Very
shooting.
end stage
There's
of the last period.
it's terrible shots, but it is what it is.
And that's the final. You finish your senior season 50-0. You win by a score of 13-7. Amazing performance. There it is, man. And here you are climbing to the top of the world. Getting your medal, your bracket, all that.
Great feeling.
You pretty much went play by play right through it. I mean, just about everything that happened, you were calling it off before it happened. So it's a heck of a memory, man.
It tattoos itself in your memory pretty good, especially if you only got one. You've interviewed a bunch of guys that's had 2, 3, even 4 state titles, and some of them have trouble. It all gets blended together with some of them.
Yeah.
But I just got one to savor.
Hey, man, that one got you in the history books, and we've interviewed several guys from 1998. We've interviewed Chris Dunn, Dean Williams, Chris Floyd, Josh Whitaker. Like I said, Ian Horn, a lot of guys from Woodford. Man, you put up a heck of a performance. You put up a senior performance. You knew what you were good at. You didn't try anything crazy. You didn't go out there and get away from what got you there. And that's what so many times we'll do these videos, and guys that are, with the state champions, and they've wrestled dudes. They've wrestled, like you said, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever. And they've always been tough matches, but the opponent will go out and try something crazy, just do something completely off the wall, get thrown to their back, or, just beat theirself, if you will. And they're like, I didn't expect him to try this, or I knew he wasn't good at this. I don't know why he tried that on him. He never has hit it. So, but you wrestled there's no, hear coaches all the time, wrestle your match. And you done exactly that concept.
Yeah, no, that's it. I did what I had to do. And I just knew not to get in trouble, even though I tried a few goofy things on my road to that state championship, but it all panned out in the end. So extremely proud of that.
You add your name to that long list of Fern Creek state champions, and you were able to acquire 2 pieces of Kentucky State wrestling history that I would have to imagine most people had thought were lost to time or in a dumpster somewhere or recycled somewhere. You were able to acquire the 1964 and 1965 team state championship trophies from Aaron's High School in Louisville. And right there they are. So if you would pick up that, is the one with the figurine on top, the 64?
64, 65. Which one you want first?
Bring up that 64 trophy first.
There we go.
Now that is so cool.
I don't know if you can tell.
That's all right. That's all right. You can send us photos of it. You sent us some photos before, but you guys will see the trophy, and we also have the team photo from Aaron's team that won it. So, kind of tell us the story about you finding these, because I think this story is one that needs to be told so it doesn't happen to other pieces of Kentucky wrestling history.
Well, I work with Jefferson County Public Schools as a special education teacher, and this school is called Pathfinder, and it's a virtual school that was developed after COVID hit.
Right.
So we service all the kids throughout Louisville, through all the zip codes, and we have multiple sites. One of the sites is what used to be Aaron's Trade, which is now known as Aaron's Educational Resource Center now.
Okay.
So I stumble into one of the AP or assistant principal's offices to have a discussion with them about something I forgot. happened to see this little guy sticking out of a cardboard box in the corner of his office, and at a distance, I thought it was like a diving team trophy or something of his. And I'll get closer to it and realize it's a wrestler. And I'm naturally curious. And I look in, check the box, and sure enough, this one and the 1965 team trophies in there. And I look at the guy and I'm like, do you realize what you have in your office? He's like, no, what is this? And I looked it up. And when I first found him, I thought for a second, I could have swore Kentucky School for the Blind won the first tournament, but apparently was Aaron's trade when I researched it and looked it up and realized it. And then I contacted you when I ended up finding out about it. So yeah, these things were just sitting in a box in an office somewhere. And then I find out that they needed to tear down the metal case or the trophy cases that these were hiding in because they needed to make more room for classrooms or whatever reason they had for tearing it down. But yeah, all of Aaron's trade trophies and plaques and awards, they're all in a storage closet right now.
My goodness. And I don't want to speak on behalf of the wrestling community, but I'm going to speak on behalf. We're glad that you found them. We're glad that you've got them. They're in a safe place, and we know that part of our history is preserved. It's just a phenomenal that you were able to. Can we see the 65 too?
Unfortunately, the 65 had a bit of an accident before I touched them.
No, yeah.
The wrestler broke off the top.
Yeah, no, that's a great, man. That's cool that you have those, man. That is awesome that you were able. Now, for those of us not familiar with the Jefferson County, City of Louisville geography, where exactly what is Aaron's the actual school building at?
The school building, it's off of, Broadway and 2nd Street, Broadway and 1st Street. No, I'd have to look it up. Nowadays,
okay, no, that's fine. Is it in the downtown area?
Downtown area, right in the heart of Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah, so downtown, you'll see it.
Okay, no, that's, of course, I know I can get to certain parts of Louisville easily. There are certain parts, I'd have to use my maps to get to. I just don't know the geography because I'm like in doing this, your schools like Aaron's, Flagey, a couple other schools like that had state champions that had the team trophies, the team champions like that. Just trying to piece together, where they were, what school I guess kind of picked up their student populace. That way, we can kind of say, oh yeah, that they're the feeder, or the Louisville Eastern or Fern Creek or whatever school it would be, Atherton, whatever it may be, they're in the city would pick up their students. And I like connecting the dots like that. And when you win a state championship, you get all kind of cool mementos. You get your medal, you get a bracket, maybe even get a ring. So Rick, I have to ask, man, do you still have your medal?
I've got the medal right here.
All right, let's say, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
And I also got my state championship ring that I had made.
That's awesome. You have to send us photos. That way we can insert it here.
Now, the bracket, funny thing about the bracket, they misspelled my last name on the bracket. Didn't realize until I got home. Because they ended up writing, the girls that ended up writing it out was real fancy cursive. So as I first look at it when I get it, and I'm busy high-fiving and handshaking and doing and getting congratulations for everybody, you don't realize it until I get out to the car, sit down, and we're on our way back to Louisville, and I look down and go, there's no E in my last name. What it's spelled McCarthy and put an E right before
I got you. Well, that's I guess it's a one of one. There'll never be another one, like that. That's cool that and that you picked up on it.
Yeah, but the bracket itself got tore up a little bit when I was away at college. Mom and Dad moved and took all my stuff and just chucked it into and chucked it into a box somewhere, and
Right.
he got tore up a little. But the wife ended up getting a hold of the remains of it, and she ended up making me a new one for my birthday, and
That's cool.
it was real sweet, real
Yeah,
sweet
no,
wife.
that's cool, man. That's cool. Now I've never been to Fern Creek's gym. Do they have like a banner up for you guys, like individual or like anything
Yeah,
in the
they
gym?
have. I've got picture of it. I'd have to go there and get pictures of it, but yeah, there's they have white banners up with all the state champions from all the
Okay.
sports, wrestling, anything.
That,
But
no, that's cool. Like you
state
said,
trooper,
that's cool that Fern Creek, embraces. A lot of schools don't really embrace their wrestling tradition, if you will. Some schools you go into, they've got state champions, and you wouldn't even know they had a wrestling program. The way that they're just now. I mean, I don't want to talk about any certain sport, but there's a couple sports that if they make it to the regional tournament, just even making it, they get a banner up, a full size banner, and wrestling could have a state champion, and they're like not even anywhere to be found. You're like, what's
right?
going on here?
Yeah, the funny thing was actually, now that you mentioned that, I come back, win the state championship, and then I think our drill team. I'm sorry, I think our drill team won nationals. So it was like, oh, you won state, that's great. Hey, here's our national champs over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
it was, but I mean, it didn't matter. Everybody
right.
was.
No, I get it, and that's something about wrestling is to the people that are there and the people that know what's going on. It matters. I mean, that's a big accomplishment. No matter if you're recognized or not. If I kind of wish we would do a little bit longer on the podium for the state champion because it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. By the time the number one state champion gets up there, they might get 10 seconds holding their bracket, holding their medal. Now, I wish they'd get a little bit longer because people don't understand just how big of an accomplishment that is, and the recognition should be, and to me, a little bit longer than just enough to say the name, say the school, get the photo. Let's go. Get them off, right?
Yep.
That's just my opinion. Rick, man, do you have anything you'd like to say or add or anything like that for this video before we put a bow on it?
Thank you to all the coaches that helped me get the state title. Especially big thank you to Daryl Farmer for recruiting me and get me into wrestling because Lord knows where I'd be without it. But one more thing with my road to the state title, the cool thing that made me feel like it was a true accomplishment was the final 3 guys that I wrestled were all from the teams that won the state title. Yeah, 95, my freshman year, Sheldon Clark won it, which I had Sheldon Clark in the quarterfinals. St. X won it my senior year. And then Woodford County won it my sophomore and junior year. And so I was up against those quality wrestling coaches.
Yeah,
led to that state title. So that was the one thing I was really proud of at the end.
Thank you for doing this. We've been trying to get together. I look back at my messages. We've been talking for over a year trying to get this lined up. We thought we were going to be able to do it in person at Fern Creek, and it just wasn't able to work out in school and everything like that. So I'm just glad we were able to do it, man. And a great piece of history with the trophies and a great piece of Fern Creek history to be able to add to the Tiger tradition that's on the channel, man.
Yep, it was a blast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, guys, that's all that we have. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the mats.